On the last video, I talked about you can do anything, but you can't do everything. And in reality, can you really do anything? Like, you can do anything you set your mind to. I think it's a complete lie. And I think getting realistic about it is not putting limitations on your ability to be creative, because we can still do far more than we really think that we can do. And I put it in the context like this. So a lot of spouses of military members that are on different bases as you PCS, as you move to these different locations, it is one of the big concerns people have is being able to find a job, because it could up and be you're there for 1 year and you're gone the next. You're there for 2 years, thinking you're going to be there for 3 or 4. Or vice versa. Maybe you get there and you think you're supposed to be there for a long period of time. It's supposed to be 3 or 4 years that you're supposed to be at this one duty location, and all of a sudden you're gone in 6 months for whatever the reason is. And so how are you supposed to be able to start something and be able to continue it? It's one of the reasons why I think the online space is really one of the best spaces for military spouses, for veterans, you name it. Especially if you're doing anything on the side. It's much, much harder to do anything that's really specialized. I mean, can you really do anything? I mean, if you have the aspiration to be, a nurse or a doctor, and you go through all the training in order to do that, and you're married to a military person, you then might find yourself in a space where you're not able to move, and now you got to split time between where you're at. And that's not a situation, especially with having family, that makes it really, really difficult. And so it's not just simply that, aspirationally, I love the idea that you can do anything. Sky's the limit. But when we really talk about getting things done and getting to where we want to go and defining what we want our life to be, we're automatically going to need to put the constraints and the limitations that get us where we want to go. Because again, it allows us to say no to things that are just distractions. And that's what I think is really important. I definitely want people to be motivated to think they can certainly do more than they possibly can. Puts us on a path that gives us the best chance of being successful. That's really what trying to get realistic about this is all about. Is you can be aspirational, but if we're being realistic and we measure it correctly, it makes it more likely that we're going to be able to get there. That's why I keep talking about doing entrepreneurship DNA tests, because it's going to take all of those factors in for a free DNA test that tells you what is the likely path you need to be taking with your current circumstances right now. It's real simple. So I highly recommend doing that. Cashflowveteran.com/eDNA. It looks like Edna, but it's eDNA. Cashflowveteran.com/eDNA. And you can go over there, and you can also do a free consultation with them as well. See ya. Have a good one.